I'm back to overthinking, bro. I'm literally back to overthinking. Like, I can't stop getting in my head about this content thing. And I don't know, man. I feel like with YouTube, I feel more pressure. Like, I've created more than 800 videos on short form. But with YouTube, I don't know, I feel a different level of pressure, bro. Like, but nonetheless, guys, my name is Brandon. I'm documenting my life as I try to be a better person, basically, in all aspects, physically, mentally, financially as well. And I think last week we celebrated quite a few milestones, right? Quite a lot of brand deals happened. Quite a lot of exciting things are happening last week. But this particular week, nothing planned really. So my goal is just to show up on camera a little bit more, especially on YouTube, because I don't know, I struggle with YouTube, man, you know. And part of that is learning how to use my camera. Like, I'm using my phone now because, yeah, I've just struggled with my camera. But nonetheless, today is a Monday. What I simply did today was, after work, or towards like the last hour or so, I went to a cafe and I started working, bro. And I won't lie to you, that was one of the most productive days I've ever had. Like, I was so productive. I read 8 reports. I sent out 2 emails. I checked up on Slack. Like, I just did the most, bro. I did the most. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was a really good, productive day. I don't know, man. I just tried to romanticize my life a little bit, you know. So, Nompumelelo, you inspired that. I saw your post. So I tried to how do I romanticize this Monday? Because honestly, it wasn't giving. But anyways, this is me trying not to overthink things, you know, and just take it one day at a time. Yeah, so I just got one of the craziest DMs, and somebody said, bro, since you've moved, you look the happiest. And I just want to remind people that social media is just a performance stunt, you know? Like, for example, me sitting outside here in the sun, making sure the shot looks good. It's all performative because ordinarily I'd be inside, you know what I mean? If I was with a friend on the phone trying to have a conversation like this, I'd probably be inside on the bed or on the chair or whatever the situation is. So don't forget, everything here is just performative, you know? And obviously these elements that are real, that are true. I've genuinely been having a good time since I've moved, but these days that I haven't documented, similarly to yesterday. Yesterday, I had one of the toughest days. And it was tough mainly just because of one thing. There's a kid that was in our program in grade 8 and grade 9, and he dropped out in grade 10 because math just got too hard for him. But that kid got stabbed and he passed on. He didn't make it. Now, for me, that's so sad. Like, I don't know, outside of that, there's just a lot of work frustrations that I'm having. But nonetheless, like, I don't document all those things, man, you know, like I am sharing that here today, but there's probably other instances in the past where I haven't had the best days and I didn't feel like picking up the camera, you know, like the weight of picking up the camera was too heavy. So I just want to remind people, like, this is all performative, bro. So don't always believe what you're seeing on social media. And social media is just a highlight reel, man. You know, you're probably only showing your highest highs. And the people that show their lowest lows are super vulnerable and super out there. But chances are also is that they are probably showing the lows to get engagement. And for me, I really don't care about super high engagement. I know the people that support me, and yeah, and if you know anything about me, I show most of my life actually on my stories. So yeah. That's not to say that I do think I'm in a better mental place than I was when I left my previous apartment. Like, the stress that I had about moving was insane. So I am in a better place. Don't get that wrong, you know. But I'm super appreciative of the support that you guys are giving me, because some of the highs that I'm getting is off social media, off the brands that are wanting to work with me, off the comments, off the DMs. Like, I get so many positive comments, so many motivational comments. And yes, the bad ones are still there, but nonetheless, man, like, that really puts a pep in my step, man. So I'm truly grateful for you guys. But outside of that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bro, I just got some really good news. Like, oh, this is some really good news. I'm really excited to share this with you. But let's go for a walk first.
Girl, I see your face everywhere. When I'm going out, you'll be there. 'Cause everything reminds me of you. I can't take no more. Girl, I think I'm losing my mind. Try to go to work, but I lost track of time. 'Cause everyone keep looking like you. I can't take no more. I miss your touch from your hands and your body.
So here's the news, right? I don't even know where to start with this story, right? So I reached out to a brand, and this is literally the first ever brand I've reached out to. The reason this is the first time I'm reaching out to a brand is because for some reason, I believe that because I don't have 10,000 followers yet on one of the platforms, like, I don't have influence. I hate that word influence, but I don't make good content, and I'm not somebody people would listen to, you know. So that for me was in the back of my mind for a whole long time. But I took that leap of faith, man, you know. And the crazy part is that the story started when we were using the Humans app. Now, the only reason I actually started using the Humans app is because one evening my girl was like, why aren't you on Humans? Like, why don't you have that app downloaded, you know? And for me, every time I hear the word humans, I think about big creators. I think about those people that have thousands and thousands of followers, you know what I mean? And look, there's no shame in saying I don't have that yet, but I'm getting there. I'm growing, you know. By the way, we almost had 8,000 followers on TikTok. So if you haven't already, please consider following me there. But I was in Humans and I saw this ad or this campaign open to creators saying, work with us, right? And I think the minimum was about 10,000 followers. And for me, honestly, there's still some better way to get there, especially on Instagram, right? But my thinking was like, okay, they're looking for this type of creator. I literally ticked all the boxes except the follow account. And that's unfortunate. Yes, it's unfortunate. But I told myself, like, why not reach out to this person? So I searched who the marketing team was, and I found the person, right? And once I found the person, I reached out to her and I was like, I can't get her email. LinkedIn, like, I reached out to her on LinkedIn and she's a phenomenal person, super amazing. And she checked out my content and she says she likes it. So I'm super happy that things worked out the way they did, you know. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what can blossom from this partnership, man. You know, I truly believe that I'm the right person for this content that they're trying to make. So yeah, I'm really excited. So yeah, I'm so stoked, guys. I'm so stoked. As well, in my previous video, I showed you guys that I got this magic arm and it's allowed me to get some super creative shots, man. So let me know down in the comments what you think about that. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yo, happy Friday. Today's agenda is very simple, actually. My girl is coming back home. She went away for family and stuff like that. But nonetheless, I just want to make her a nice dinner, man, you know? Something a little bit comforting, you know, to say like, welcome home. So yeah, let's do that. Oh, I'm realizing I didn't tell you what we're doing, right? So I'm planning to make like a high protein mac and cheese, as well as some ribs and some broccoli. So I have these ready to cook ribs that I want to make. So I'm going to put that in the air fryer for about 30 minutes and then the mac and cheese. I'll show you how to make the mac and cheese. But if you follow on short form, you should know how this is made. Anyways, so first things first, get some pasta water boiling on the pot. I'm also meal prepping this macaroni, so I'm making a generous amount. Honestly, these are so clutch, bro. And the pork is my favorite, like these pork ribs. It's better than the beef for me. So here's a trick that I do. So just using a scissor, off the top, and then I let all the marinade go to the bottom like that, right? And then using a tongs, I pull out the meat and then I put it in the air fryer. But obviously it's going to be a bit too big for my air fryer, so I'm going to use a scissor to cut it like that. So it's in the air fryer like that. And technically this is already cooked, right? So what they do is they put this in a sous vide bag and then they sous vide it, right? So that at home you can just fry it and whatever the situation is. But I'm gonna put it in the air fryer. It's best fried though, it's delicious fried. So I'm gonna put it in there for 20 minutes. Halfway through, I'm gonna baste and then flip it over. Now this next part is what I would highly recommend that you do. So remember how I snipped it at the top and then the liquid is still in the bag. This is the important part. So get yourself a glass like this or whatever container, a bowl even, and then pour all that liquid into there, right? Squeeze as much as you want. And this is safe to use even afterwards, mainly because the pork is already cooked. Let me just clean up here. So now you use a pastry brush and if you want to baste, sorry, I'm only using one hand, you can nicely baste. I recommend that you do this every 5 or so minutes, you know, it builds flavor. But if you're trying to save calories, I would highly recommend that you just wait a little. Like you don't use as much of this basting, because obviously a sauce has calories, guys. So my pasta is already boiling. I'm gonna switch the extractor fan on. Sorry if you're hearing noise. So what's important with pasta water is you salt it generously. Now if I'm being honest, I should have weighed my pasta out a little bit earlier, but I need 180 grams of pasta. Okay, and that's going straight into here. Got a few stragglers. Now in order for the pasta not to stick, make sure that in the first 10 seconds or so you're stirring, bro. Like stirring is really important so that you don't get those clumps. That should be good. For me, an underrated tip is, you see, like I don't have to do anything right now except like a quick stir of the pasta, a quick basting of the ribs, right? Let me quickly baste the ribs. But honestly, outside of that, there's nothing really for me to do. But can you see, I have dishes, I have things to pack away. So that's when you do it, bro. Like, put away your salt, you know, pack away a few dishes. And if you have any dishes to wash those dishes right now, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it saves me so much time and makes the cooking process a little bit easier, because everybody knows dishes is the worst part. So if you are done with everything and you have a little dishes, you just know it makes the job so much easier, bro, and you can eat your food a little bit more guilt-free. I think my pasta is ready. That's ready. So gotta drain the pasta. So it's time to make the roux. Start off with a pot and then use any oil of your choice. The measurement of the oil will be 1 tablespoon first, and then once that heats up, right, you put in 1 tablespoon of flour. I'm in South Africa, so the most popular one is cake flour, so I'm using a tablespoon of cake flour. What's important is once you put the flour in, you have to stir, bro. So I'm gonna use a whisk. You stir like crazy. Okay, my pot is a little bit on the hot side. Make sure you're stirring. Okay, don't let it burn like I am. Okay, I'm gonna take this off the pot for a little bit. Now that you've cooked the flour a bit, you just put in a cup of water I do it gradually so I can see it thicken up. If it doesn't thicken up, I start over, honestly. Look at that, it's nice and thick. Now you add more milk. I feel like this is the secret sauce, bro. This is a chicken stock cube. Just adds so much flavor, bro. If you leave it unattended, it gets burnt, so make sure you're constantly whisking. Now it's time for the cheese. So I like to use this brand. It's the most affordable Parmesan cheese, and that's about 100 grams. This also needs to get whisked in, creates a nice consistency. Look at that. Now that that's in, the pasta goes in. I'm switching to a spatula. I mean, look at that. Okay, it needs a little bit of water. I should have done this a little bit earlier, but I'm gonna add a little bit of this Cajun seasoning from Robinson's. Truthfully, I think of cooking as a love language. So making this for my girl brought back memories of simpler, but also broker times when I'd cook for her whenever she would come back from visiting family. I couldn't help but think about how much we've both grown since back then. A lot has changed, and it's crazy to look back and realize how far we've both come. But enough reminiscing. This was genuinely a 10 out of 10, and I hope you give it a try sometime. Fun fact, growing up, I absolutely loved drawing. I wouldn't say I was amazing, but I definitely wasn't terrible either. I could spend hours filling in sketchbooks just because I enjoyed creating. But when I got to high school, I became really discouraged. I realized there were so many people who were far better than me. And instead of motivating me, it made me feel like maybe I just wasn't good enough. Then in creative arts, I found out that if I wanted to pursue art, I'd also have to learn about history of art. And honestly, I didn't care about all of that. I just wanted to draw. That's all I wanted. Slowly but surely, the passion faded away. So today's date reminded me of those old days. Sitting with a sketchbook, completely lost in what I was creating. Spending hours making artwork that didn't really need a purpose. It was never about being the best. It was just about fun. I genuinely enjoyed this date. And to top it all off, we realized we were right next to the old biscuit mill. Now, if you know me, you know I absolutely love food. So there was no chance we were gonna leave without trying a few things. We picked up a whole variety of foods. This jollof rice looked incredible. And after the terrible dumplings we had last week, I felt like these had something to prove. I'll give you my full taste test in just a second, but before we headed home, we noticed a guy selling fresh coconuts, and we just had to stop. It was actually my first time trying one, and I learned way more than I expected. He explained that the younger coconuts are better for drinking because they packed with water, while the older coconuts have firmer flesh that's much better for eating. Watching him was honestly so fascinating. The way he opened them so effortlessly showed years of experience. He was a true master of his craft. But enough talking, let's eat. Just trying to hide it, nigga, but nah. Yeah, so just had a super amazing day. Started the morning off with a little bit of painting. You can decide who won. You can decide who won. It's not a competition.
Thought you said it's not a competition.
It's not a competition though. And then we also checked out the old biscuit mill. So the neighborhood goods market. I think that's what it's called. Good vibes, good energy, but we got some good food and I'm super hungry. So let's eat, bro. Let's eat.
Yeah, no. There's no counting.
Like that's something you need. Come in.
그런 드라마 말 안 해도 알 것 같은 느낌 걷다 눈이 마주치면 설레임 살짝 겹친 손을 떼지 못한 채로 I know 이게 그냥 우연 같진 않다는 걸 박스창에 비친 우리 실루엣 괜히 드라마 속 한 장면 같아 Oh yeah 흔들리는 내 맘 같은 쪽으로 기울고 전부 모든 풍경을 빠르게만 지나가 우리 말 안 해도 아는 이 미묘한 거리감 조금만 더 다가가도 될 것 같아 Right here now 조명 곁에서도
Yo, your boy is finally home. It's been an eventful day. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really tired, but I did a little bit of shopping. Also, get this, bro, like, I went to Canal Walk with my girl because she needed shoes, right? Like you guys saw, like we were shopping for shoes initially. Out of nowhere, we missed the price. Out of nowhere, things are starting to look a little bit good. Like I'm like, oh, I need a graphic tee. Oh, I need a new pair of pants. Out of nowhere, I've spent like $600, bro. But like, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. Let me know down in the comments. But here's the fit. I want to show you guys the fit. So this graphic tee, look at the back. What you think of the back? I like the detailing. It's also like thick, man, you know? So on a wintry night or like a spring evening, you know what I mean? Because it's not too hot, it's not cold. This is like perfect, you know? Then I want to show you guys the pants, bro. I think the pants are fire. Look at this. I think this looks good, guys. I think this looks good. Also, there's a subtle detailing. If you follow me on short form, you'd have seen my brown pants. My brown pants also has this detailing over here. And then there was like interesting pockets here at the back. I don't know. I'm not going to use that, but like, I don't know. I just like the fact that it's different, man, you know? So like, there's these pockets here at the back. They're not functional, but I think it looks good. Now, if I'm being real with you, right? For me, I think this is the main reason why I'm so proud of my weight loss. Guys, there used to be a time where I used to go into the shops. Sorry that I'm getting a little bit emotional. I used to go into shops and I would have to look for the bigger size, right? And after looking for the bigger size, it still wouldn't fit. There was a time I was so... like, I hated shopping. And it's not because I don't like clothes. That's complete opposite. Like, as somebody who grew up without, like, I think growing up, the only time I got clothes really was around December, you know? So the fact that, like, I'm able to buy clothes for myself now, and outside of that also get clothes that look good on me, that make me feel good, that give me that confidence booster. I'm so happy to be in this phase of my life. Like, I can't tell you how much I'm happy to be in this phase of my life. So yeah, nonetheless, guys, if you follow me from short form, and mainly because I post a lot of weight loss things, like, and you doubt, like, can I do it? Trust me, guys, I'm that person who tried to lose their weight 5 billion times before it finally clicked. It legitimately finally clicked. There's a story of me trying a coffee diet, bro. Like, that's how hectic it was, you know? So, nonetheless, I really believe if you attempting to lose weight, please just do it, bro. Like, please just attempt it. And if you have questions, you can slide in the DMs, bro. I'll more than happy to give you my suggestions, and I'll point you to people who are more knowledgeable than me. I think that's the important part. But nonetheless, let me know how I look, man. I feel good. And I think I look good as well, man. Just one thing, if you like this type of content, please click thumbs up. And if you love this type of content, please consider following my page. Other than that, cheers.